Zaffa presents A Violent Heart, written by David Fennell and read by Jess Nesling. Mallory Jones Investigates A Violent Heart. Podcast trailer. In this series of Mallory Jones Investigates, I do a deep dive into the murders of women, victims of the so-called bolt gun killer. I speak to friends, family, neighbours, and the police to build a picture of who these women were. I ask why these murders, some stretching as far back as 30 years, have never had the investigation they deserved. Is insidious misogyny within the police force to blame? Did this prevent the capture of a killer who committed multiple murders? It took one person to step forward and take control. A name familiar to listeners of this show, a woman who sees the big picture. A detective with a heart that beats so violently she will stop at nothing until justice is served. Featured in our award-nominated series The Girl Who Lived, The Anonymous Murders, The See No Evil Murders, and The Silent Man, Detective Inspector Grace Archer leads the charge. They were women living on the fringes of society, women living in poverty, trying to get by during recessions and enforced austerity. They had rent and bills to pay. Some had mouths to feed. They were estranged from their families, alone and surviving the only way they could. Fiona Brooks. Sally and I were best mates. We lived on the same street and went to the same school. We did everything together back then. Mallory Jones. What was she like? It's nice that people ask that and not obsess about what happened to her. The detective asked me the same question. I like that about her. Detective Inspector Grace Archer? Yeah, that's her. I told her the same thing. Sally was funny, and a bit gobby. She was brave, much braver than me. I always admired that about her. Oh, and she loved music, especially the Smiths, which I never understood. They were so depressing. I was more a Wham girl. Why did she move to London? She had lost both her mum and dad in the space of 2 years. She was left with no one. No other family. The social worker told her she'd have to go into care. That was the last thing Sally wanted. That's what made her run away to London. Despite being only 16, she was fiercely independent. She disappeared with dreams of finding a new life in the big city. Poor Sally. I still can't get my head around what happened. A Violent Heart is available to download now from wherever you get your podcasts. Chapter 1. Elena. In the moment that Elena steps into the man's car, she feels a flash of dizziness that disappears almost as soon as it had arrived. It was a strange sensation, like a sixth sense perhaps, or a shining, as Marianne might call it, just like the book. She's never read it, but they had watched the movie together, and it had terrified her. She blinks it away and turns to the client, resting her shoulder bag on her lap. He's wearing a PPE mask, which unsettles her. The pandemic has passed. The world is back to normal. Most people are glad to see the back of masks. Obviously, not everyone. I've been vaccinated, she says. Best to be safe. Elena shifts in her chair, the strange turn playing on her mind. Are you okay? He asks. She swallows and composes herself. Yes, she replies with a fixed smile. You have an accent, he observes. Her lips tighten. English people always love to point out that she has an accent, as if it was something that made her an oddball. Everyone has accent, even English people, she says. I suppose that's true, he says, turning on the ignition. Elena looks ahead, hoping this will be quick. She feels his gaze lingering and turns away. Her lips set. Something about this man she can't quite put her finger on. A moment passes and the car has not moved. She looks at him, her brow furrowed. Seatbelt, he says. She bites her tongue and pulls the belt over her sleeveless blouse. I like your necklace, he says, glancing at the gold half of a heart hanging from the chain around her neck. He switches on the indicator, checks the side mirror, and pulls away from the curb. Elena folds her arms and makes a silent prayer for this to be over soon.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?